What's up, folks? My name is Rasan Bahati, born and raised in Compton, California, where at the young age of 11 years old, I found the sport of track cycling. 10 national titles later, I launched the Bahati Foundation to help marginalized communities rise above their circumstances. But today, I ride for fun, fitness, and community, all while representing brands that I love so much in the industry and making cool content. All right, welcome back to another Chocolate Rocket edition of Crit Racing. This is day number 4 for me of Tour of America's Dairyland. My first race was Mount Pleasant. We are now at the great Downer Avenue, and yeah, it's a good one. Started off on Wednesday after taking a red eye from LA was in New York, went home for 24 hours and then red eye out to Chicago, where I had an hour drive to Milwaukee, and it was extremely hot, humid on a 5-mile circuit. Legs didn't feel so bad on the first day. I didn't have a camera on that day, just wanted to open up. And yeah, the temperatures and the weather had just started to flip each day. It was hot, cold, and today, as you see, it is soaking wet. But it didn't stop this group from riding fast. I decided before I even packed that I was going to bring some rain shoes. The Midwest is, you just never know what you're going to get. So I had my old Giant shoes, so that was cool. Surge Pro shoes, and so you don't mess up, your nice whites. This is the first lap, and I wanted to see how the race was going to start. So I started in the front just to see, if like the powers like Jaden will be hitting it pretty hard. Contrary to what you believe, you can actually go really fast in the rain. We still averaged about 28 miles an hour for the most part. This was a very sketchy part of the race. It got so windy that some barricades flew down. And man, we were lucky that we wasn't in the gutter, because they're falling right now. And there they are. That would have been really bad. Oh my goodness, I'm glad we had like our heads up. Here's a little instant replay I put together. So those two fell down. And we actually had an incident later in the race where like 20 of those barricades fell down. So that's just Mother Nature doing this thing and letting the race people know, they need to do a better job securing things and not taking, safety for granted. Not that they are, but they could do a better job. So yeah, we're just cutting through the race here. I started riding at the very front, like I mentioned. I got the whole team up there. They're riding strong. I decided to drift back to the back. So we started with about, maybe about 60 riders. We have been averaging about 75 to 80 riders. So a lot of people decided not to start because of the weather. And I was actually on the verge of not starting myself, but decided, I came all the way from Cali. Rain won't hurt nobody. Just, be safe and have a fast race. So I started, and so I let the dust kind of settle. You can see there's still about 40 riders in the front, and I'm just picking my own lines, riding in the back. I stayed back here for maybe, 15, 20 minutes of the 50-minute race, and it allowed me to actually collect myself, because to be honest with you, riding in the front, everyone is still riding very aggressively. So not only do you have to ride hard, there's a lot of tension up there too, which you waste a lot of energy just trying to like hold your position. So that was another reason I decided to go to the back. And you may be wondering why I have the rear-facing camera as the main focus camera. Later in the race, I just thought it was pretty fascinating to see what was happening behind me in the race. So as we click through the laps, you will see just some of the faces, some of the things that are going on behind me. So this is the lap where like 20 barricades flew over, and again, we were lucky we weren't like right in there. You can see me looking up. That's why my camera is like facing towards the sky. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But if you look in the main camera, you will see like there's just stuff everywhere, and they had blew over at some point in our lap. And this got a little confusing because the announcers and the officials were saying neutral, but the front of the race was not neutral. It was like pretty fast, pretty game on. So skipping along to, I think we're going to be seeing about 3 laps ago. 4 laps ago. This is when things got really animated. Our goal was to get the team to ride towards the front, but not on the front so early as we have done in previous days. And what had happened is that we would lose a little bit of horsepower towards the end, so we decided just to hold back just I don't know, maybe a lap and a half, and see how that will play out. And so that's one thing about the team. We are still learning as we go. This is the first time that we have all raced together as a team this year, starting with Tulsa leading up to this. So we've only had about 4 or 5 races as a team, and as you see, Chad is the sweeper. And so we're not in the position that we want to be in yet. And just like that, the riders are starting to make their move. That was Marco. There's Chad right there behind me. Marco is doing what he needs to do. There's oftentimes in the team chat, we talk about, wait on me. It's like, look, I tell them, don't wait on me. You get to the position you're supposed to be in, and I'll come find you. And so that's exactly what he did. He was getting to the position he needed to get to, and I found him with Chad sweeping, and just like that, we are together. We do have Brian Hill that got lost in the shuffle, and unfortunately for him, there was a crash that's getting ready to happen right here. I had just told Marco in this moment, I said, keep moving, and as soon as I said that, he started to move, and literally the accident happened right next to it. If you watch the blue jersey, he kind of swings out, and then just massive crash. And unfortunately, Brian, our teammate, our horsepower, was the first one to go down, broke his crank, and also got a bunch of road rash. So that happened with 3 to go. No free laps, of course, and yeah, we missed him dearly towards the end. But it all worked out, because that's when the guys have to step up. So I believe that's the methods to winning. Jaden is on the front, and sometimes it's hard to tell how fast we're going. I don't have my metrics up, but we're going pretty good right here. This is a slight downhill with a tailwind, and we're going 29, 30 miles an hour, and then it's screeching stop. You hear all those disc brakes due to the water on the disc making all that noise. And this was, even in the dry, this is a sketchy corner, but you can go really fast through it. We were going pretty good, and as in the later laps, you will see that we're going even faster. I was cracking up looking at Sharon. I took my glasses off because I had dark shades. I couldn't really see much. I took them off, and I had to put them right back on. It was no way I could see with all the water and debris flying in the face. So, like, seeing Sharon's face, just trying to see through the madness is kind of comical. So we're going to be seeing 2 laps to go, and this is where it gets really good. I'm allowing one guy to sit in front of me. I'm not really worried about him. I still, for the most part, have the right of way, and then Chad is just doing an excellent job being a sweeper. And not only is he a sweeper, he's actually going for the overall over the 6 days. So he's sitting in second place right now. So we're trying to do like a little twofer, trying to get the win and make sure he gets some points for the overall. Cycle Smart rider is Adam Meyerson. He had been doubling up, doing the 50 plus earlier in the week, and then doing the pro race. And when we saw that he was racing the last 2 days with us, we're actually pretty excited. He's been around for a long time and knows exactly what he's doing. And I just thought that he would be a good contributor to the peloton, which he was. So again, I'm just telling Marco, keep moving. In these moments, you can't be stagnant. You can't just sit there and think that things are not going to happen. So you got to keep moving. And I don't know, I could feel when the storm is coming without even looking. You won't see my head move much. I do use a lot of my peripheral vision to see what's going on around me. And again, downhill fast into this turn, about 28 miles an hour. We scrub some speed, probably coming out of this corner going about 24 miles an hour. Chad and Adam are I wouldn't say fighting for the wheel, but Adam's doing what he has to do to make sure he stays in his slipstream. You can see he's overlapping. He's not just riding right behind the wheel, so you can take note to that. Sharon is making his way up to the front, and then all the players are starting to move up. So right here was an interesting call by Sharon. This is actually one of the hardest sections of the race, in my opinion, because we're going really, really fast, and you got like a cross headwind, and so you can see he went into the wind and he fought for about 5 seconds and lost a bunch of spaces. I think what would have been more of a better move for him was to go all the way up to his teammate Jaden, who's on the front, take the wheel of Lee Baumgartner, who's riding second, and just sit there. But you know, he's still in a good spot. He's right on Chad's wheel, and he's a finisher, so you got to be concerned about that. So here we are. This is bell lap to go. This is kind of like deja vu from 2023, except it was sunny. Jaden was on the front. I had a few guys in between me, and then I had Sharon, a couple riders behind me. Almost identical setup, except it was dry. So now it's about protecting the inside, making sure no one can come underneath you. It had stopped raining at this point, but the roads are still wet, so you got to be careful with that, and make sure you don't slide out. I made a comment on the Bros Ride Bikes YouTube page. Go over there and check it out. What I was talking about, how to protect yourself in these closing laps to make sure you give yourself the best opportunity to get to the line, because if you crash, you're not getting to the line. So you may have to take a different line, and so that's what I'm doing right here. Look how much of a gap I'm giving Marco. And I'm making sure that my wheel is inside of him. So if he slides out, he's going to slide out, not inwards, and I get a chance to go inside and not be on the ground and continue to go. So Marco's obviously feeling good. You can see the gap that was created to Adam Myerson back there. I think that's what Sharon was talking about in his post. It wasn't our rider. It was Adam Myerson who came off the wheel through that turn. And then Marco hit out early, which was fantastic for us. Jaden kind of got back on the wheel, but he had been riding on the front for a long time. And then Baumgartner, the leader of the series, was forced to chase right here because Marco was going for it. And so I'm yelling inside, inside, inside. And I kid you not, this is deja vu from 2023, except there was 2 riders in front of me. And this sprint right here, I could just time it perfectly. Chad is on my wheel, and you can see the gap to the field. There's absolutely no one in sight for about 3 or 4 seconds. And once I set up Baumgartner, I knew that I had to sprint to the line. And then Chad did a great job polishing off the rest of it, and we took 1-2. So interesting. Last year, Methods to Winning, we went 1-2 with Sharon and I, and then this year, Chad and I. What a great race. And yeah, 2 wins, a couple podiums. We did pretty good. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. All white represent